Hello, I'm Roger Steare, and welcome to CHATROG, the podcast on ethics in artificial intelligence. In this episode, I'll be sharing some thoughts about AI, humanity, and the ethical challenges we face. We are living through what might be the most compressed period of technological change in human history, and yet, paradoxically, many of us sitting at our desks still wonder, has anything actually changed? That tension between extraordinary promise and underwhelming reality is precisely what this episode explores. And at the heart of it all is a question that has always driven my work. Are we making good decisions for ourselves, for others, for our world? It has astonishing capabilities. It has helped reconstruct the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of humanity's oldest surviving texts, and is helping preserve dying indigenous languages. It is designing drugs now entering phase 3 clinical trials. It is predicting clinical outcomes from scans alone. Protein folding, a problem that stumped biology for 50 years, has been cracked. And in 2025, the shift from AI as a chatbot to AI as an agent, a system that autonomously plans, acts and adapts, reached mainstream workplaces. McKinsey described the difference vividly. Where in 2023 an AI bot could suggest a response to a customer query, in 2025 an AI agent can have the conversation, process the payment, check for fraud, and complete the shipping action, all without human involvement. This is not incremental improvement. This is a different category of technology. Generative AI attracted nearly $34 billion in private investment in 2024 alone, up nearly 19% year on year. 78% of companies now use AI, a 55% increase in a single year, outpacing even the early adoption of, wait for it, the internet itself. And yet there is a productivity paradox, and this is the first uncomfortable puzzle we have to worry about. Despite all of this, the macro productivity gains are surprisingly modest. St. Louis Federal Reserve found that across the entire workforce, AI time savings translate to roughly just a 1.1% increase in aggregate productivity. The UK government's own AI Safety Institute published a pilot study in February, finding meaningful quality improvements in specific tasks. That's around 23% improvement, but almost no gains in speed or overall output. A startling find from METR's developer productivity experiment found that when experienced software engineers used AI tools, tasks actually took 19% longer, not shorter. But here is a deeper story. Harvard Business Review published a piece just 3 weeks ago with the provocative title, AI doesn't reduce work, it intensifies it. New ADP research across 30,000 workers found something fascinating. The people who use AI most intensively report higher engagement and lower connection to colleagues, and actually perceive themselves as less productive even as their measurable output grows. Why? Because AI takes away the easy tasks, the quick wins, the satisfying ticks on a to-do list, and leaves us with only the hard, strategic, difficult to measure work. We have removed the small rewards that sustain motivation, and that matters enormously for what it means to flourish at work. So what are the real ethical challenges? The ethical landscape of AI in the workplace is not simply a compliance issue. It is fundamentally a question about what kind of human beings and organizations we want to become. Let's look at bias and fairness. AI systems reflect the data they are trained on, and that data carries every historical injustice baked into it. Amazon's recruitment AI famously penalised women's CVs. Racial disparities have been found in healthcare algorithms. When we delegate hiring, promotion, or performance assessment to AI, we risk encoding discrimination at scale, invisibly, and with an air of false objectivity. We get the appearance of neutrality while perpetuating everything that was already unfair. What about surveillance and dignity? AI enables extraordinary monitoring, keystrokes, sentiment analysis of emails, productivity tracking, even emotion detection in video calls. There is a serious regulatory dimension here under GDPR and the emerging EU AI Act. But there is also a deeper human question. Does being constantly watched change who we are? Does it corrode trust? And does it actually improve performance? Or does it destroy the psychological safety that genuine performance depends upon? Now let's look at job displacement and economic justice. Edit point. Now let's look at job displacement and economic justice. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei, edit point. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei warned last year that up to 50% of entry-level white-collar roles in tech, finance, law, consulting could disappear within 5 years, potentially driving unemployment to 10, even 20%. Nearly 78,000 jobs were already eliminated by 2025. This is not a hypothetical, and the people most exposed are often younger workers, those just starting out, those least able to absorb the disruption. And what about the delegation of moral judgment? This is the one that exercises me most philosophically. When an AI agent makes a decision about a loan, a medical treatment, a criminal risk score, who is morally responsible? We are creating a class of consequential decisions where accountability is diffuse and where the person harmed has no obvious person to hold to account. This is not a technical problem, it is a crisis of moral agency. 68% of employees have received no AI training in the past 12 months. We are asking people to work alongside a powerful, opaque colleague they do not understand, have not been prepared for, and cannot meaningfully interrogate. That is a failure of organisational ethics, full stop. I now want to talk about Socratic practice for the workplace. And rather than offering yet another policy, I want to offer a practice, a set of questions that any leader, manager, or individual employee can use to examine their own AI decisions. The key move in Socratic question is not to provide answers, but to surface assumptions, expose contradictions, and invite genuine reflection. For AI in the workplace, these questions might look like these. When you use AI to make this decision, are you delegating the outcome or the responsibility? If the person most affected by this AI-driven decision could see exactly how it worked, would they consider it fair? Are we using AI to help people do better work or to monitor and manage them more efficiently? What would we lose if this task were entirely AI generated, and does that loss matter? If this system or this agent disadvantages one group, do we know? Have we checked? And if we haven't, why not? Who in this room would not be here in 5 years if AI performs as promised? And have we spoken honestly to them? These are not rhetorical questions. They are invitations to the kind of ethical reasoning that separates organisations that are merely AI capable from those that are genuinely responsible. The point is not to obstruct adoption, it is to ensure that adoption is conscious, accountable, human and humane. Let's now look at the fears, hopes and the very near future. Clearly the fears are real. Autonomous AI agents making consequential decisions without human oversight. The concentration of AI power in a handful of companies and nations. The erosion of entry-level work that has always been how human beings learn professional craft. The use of AI to watch and control workers rather than empower them. And, most fundamentally, the possibility that we sleepwalk into a world shaped by values we never consciously choose. And yet the hopes of AI are equally real. It is already accelerating drug discovery, climate modelling and medical diagnosis. LSE data shows that with proper training, AI can genuinely free people for more meaningful work. Trained workers now saving 11 hours per week versus 5 for untrained ones. And the growing recognition from the World Economic Forum to McKinsey to individual managers everywhere that the question is not just can we automate this, but should we? That second question, should we, is a moral question, and it is the most important question of our age. This is where I want to bring in the framework that underpins everything I do. My book Ethicability and the Moral DNA Profile gives us 3 lenses: love, logic and law, and each one illuminates something the others miss. Love asks who matters and are we genuinely caring for them? The workers displaced, the junior employees who lose mentorship as AI absorbs entry-level work, the colleagues whose sense of human connection erodes. Love puts faces to data. Logic asks, what are the actual consequences and are we reasoning clearly about them? The productivity paradox is a logic challenge. Are we creating genuine value or the appearance of efficiency whilst undermining the conditions for human flourishing? Logic also asks us to look hard at who benefits, by how much, and at whose expense. Law asks, what are our duties and rights? The EU AI Act, GDPR, the duty to be honest with employees about how AI is used in their assessment, the duty not to use surveillance simply because we can, and the deeper principle that rules exist to protect people, not just to protect organisations from liability. The power of using all 3 together is that they catch what each other misses. Logic alone can justify almost any efficiency gain, irrespective of harms. Love without logic can become sentimental. Law without love becomes compliance theatre, ticking boxes whilst harming people. We are not facing an AI ethics challenge because AI is malevolent. We are facing it because we have not yet learned to be as deliberate about our values as we have become about our technology. The answer is not less AI. The answer is more moral reasoning, deeper, more honest, more Socratic. And this is what ethicability and moral DNA is for. And that conversation starts here. Thank you for listening. If you found this episode illuminating, please like, subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps others to discover the show. I'm Roger Steare, Join us next time on CHATROG, where we explore not just what artificial intelligence can do, but what it should do. Thank you.